Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacaster from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero Flight, Defender of the Fatherland. Off it an exciting 1 vs 1 on Kholodny Ferma winter between the West. We got Findeed fighting for America, freedom and democracy. Here with the 3rd Armored Division versus these we got Penetron fighting for the German army. Deutschland, das Vaterland, rolling out here with the 2nd SS Panzerdivision, das Reich with mobile defense, Jäger infantry, elite triple infantry versus Findeed, who's gone for an immediate choice of heavy cavalry with grenade and infantry bullets and supplementing him, giving him there a bit of extra range, but in particular with the high levels of veterans, it means he can actually toss his grenades out quite far. Got an MD42 there for Penetron, pretty standard stuff. Findeed with double rifleman rushing straight to secure the compartment, making it harder here for Penetron to secure the house here, and thusly threaten these 2 points, specifically the fuel point, because it's a very difficult house to otherwise clear up for the Western player due to how it's positioned with a pretty big blind spot here, essentially, or sort of blockage here with the fences and all the foliage. In the south, we've got Pioneers, MD42 Grenadiers moving in to secure that. There'll probably be more Grenadiers here for Penetron, swiftly enough. And I imagine Findeed will be going for at least more and more rifle squad before him, either considering a tank or a mortar. Oh, he's going for the echelon squad. Putting a fast run there, Findeed. Moving northwards, listening up here, securing that point as well. Meanwhile, southwards, we just got more secure there. Nope, while he's moving up the machine gun here, that's actually a very sort of neat opening move for Southern Kholodny Ferma, since most players do not anticipate the machine gun sort of being about here, so usually they'll try and, if they take a path here, walk straight to the machine gun, usually in the negative cover, so your machine gun has a good chance of at least getting a single kill on an infantryman. So that's a little neat detail there. Then at least on the way there for Penetron. You won't see a lot of players doing this, but some will. And again, it's reasonably effective, to be honest, this little trick. But again, it's not without its risks. If your opponent's how much hyper aggressive anticipating this, it can cost you. Now sending the infantry northwards, the Pioneers MD42 continue south. It's actually accepting the machine gun northwards as well, with the Pioneers on the south. Grenadiers versus Riflemen here in the centre. Not quite the best cover here, so at least one guy sticking his head out too far, which means the Grenadiers should have a good chance of killing him. Other Grenadiers going to gain the reactions here. Up north, you can see a lot of tank tracks barbed wire here for Findeed allowing to defend the point. And now we got 2 riflemen, 2 reactions, and then a mortar for Findeed. Penetron has yet to reveal his next unit here. He's planning. He's still at the 2 Grenadiers MD42 phase. Could go for a mortar, could go for a machine gun more, could go for more Grenadiers. So I suppose there's also the possibility that Penetron is planning a sniper and going to try and bleed out Findeed with that. We shall see what Penetron's up when he does end up with a Grenadier squad more. Which means certainly increasingly because for another Grenadier squad side, Jäger infantry elite troops will be the best choice in terms of doctrines for Penetron. Machine gun inside the church should of course be mindful of mortars. And of course be mindful of just slowing down too much. And the south Pioneers a bit of stand-up situation with the echelons. There we go, mortar fire there against the church. Deutschland. Grenadiers northwards there. Slowly advancing. Probably best to avoid this house since he doesn't have any immediate tools of clearing it out. He could though go for elite troops to get out some concussive grenades, that way sort of flash them out, but that's still going to take some time. So the best bet for Findeed is basically to ignore the house. It's not exactly critical. I mean, if you can get it, it's great, but if you can't, it's better to ignore it and just play around it. Ignore it and just try not to get bogged down in the pointless engagement there. Instead, try to force Findeed to have to abandon the house because Penetron is pressuring other points. In the south, the reason push back the Pioneers successfully MD42 as the riflemen side of the church. Need to be careful though, since the mortar will likely try and either bombard it or smoke it down and then rush at the riflemen. And there you go, directly from the mortar, almost wipes out the entire machine gun crew. And there you go, need to retreat now. It might even be too late here as the non-auto fall down. Yeah, wiping it. Penetron there, I think too preoccupied in the north, forgot about his machine gun and got punished pretty harshly. Take up there for Penetron, has to grab the machine gun that's going to do this pretty fast. And even then it might be risky if he just proceeds to bombard the point again and having a decent chance of wiping anything recruiting it. So not looking too good there for Penetron, not looking too good. Bit of a tactical error there was indeed is not able to exploit, who's probably gone for the captain. So 2 riflemen, 2 reactions into a mortar and a captain. Definitely not your usual American opening. They usually tend to be a bit heavy on riflemen. Penetron filling up with the 2nd Pioneer squad. Mining up the south there with telemines. Grenadiers reinforcing, Grenadiers standing about. They could go for some light machine guns to help his firepower there as a rifleman, but certainly give him a bit of an edge. ambulance running up there for Findeed. In the south, you've got the pioneers running straight to the Eastern, but they're too low in health now. They have to retreat. Also numbers, really. Overall, they're in a situation where they can't actually win. The rest of Penetron's force is actually standing about here, which is definitely not the right time. It's also gone for 4 Grenadier squads now, which would really indicate he should probably aim for elite troops here again, since those are basically the doctrines and synergize the best with all these Grenadiers. A half-tech would also be a pretty solid choice for Penetron at some point, so he can maintain the presence of the Grenadiers fast. It might also indicate he's planning a tier 3 rush, which of course exclude the half-track. Pioneers with flamethrowers, but still harassing the ice opponent fuel. Very good. So but it's starting to look like tier 3 rush here from Penetron. Then this will have to swim to retreat. Harass from the south here from Findeed. North, they're going to be being pushed back by the riflemen. Back here we got a... No, he does go for like to make that company, so there's not a tier 3 rush here from Penetron, so the half-tech could then be an option here for all these Grenadiers, since they would definitely benefit from it, since the low squad numbers mean they're much more easily pushed back after a few losses. They are much more quickly rendered combat ineffective. Thusly, a half-tech can help overcome that weakness as the Wehrmacht. We'll see what Penetron does here. Troops reinforcing, he might go for a pack 40. I mean, it might be the captain here, and the threat of a Stuart just causing Penetron to drop his tier 3 rush plans and instead focus on tier 2 and a pack 40 support as was extensive tier 1. And of course, he needs to be careful about just, you know, shooting it out here with Penetron, since he does have the mortar and is likely going to punish Penetron for this. Now you go, note he immediately begins bombarding the Grenadiers, since they're more likely to take heavy damage from the mortar. Very good tactical decision here by Findeed. He could have bombarded the machine gun, but that would take him a lot longer time. Wouldn't be quite so light to get a wipe. Whereas the exposed infantry, of course, is a much better target. In the south, the victory point secured there by Findeed and the 3rd Armour Division. In the north, he's moving about the securing territory, even as Penetron is staying up behind, harassing, cutting off, and denying resources here to Findeed. Very good work by Penetron. Though of course Findeed has no intention of, you know, only letting Penetron do it. There you go, Raffen cleared out here as they try to flank. ND42 just gunning them down. Penetron aggressively harassing, cutting off territory. And the South-Eastern push back, and still no sign of doctrine there for Penetron. Again, I think Elite would just be the more straightforward choice. Get up some D for defeats for some of his Grenadiers. Would do him, I think, quite well here versus the Riflemen and the echelons. Allow him to be more aggressive. Plus, the Kaza grenades could also open up for a few surprises. Got a Eastern squad wipe. This small tactical victory for Penetron and the 2nd SS. Back here, though, bunker ups. There'll be medic bunkers there for Penetron. 2,000. 2,000. So nice aggressive Raspberry going there again. He's using all of his infantry. In fact, in that regard, he's got more infantry squad numbers on the field than Penetron, or than Findeed, allowing him to basically hit more here and there. So that's not a bad idea there overall by Penetron. So he really should consider some upgrades. And again, I do think he should go for elite troops. He could go for Jaeger infantry. Could also open up some doors by kicking them in with big fat jackboots. So it's gone for the like to make that's going to be nothing yet out of it yet, and we can see here Findeed is choosing Rangers from the heavy cavalry doctrine. Interesting choice there. Not equipping them with Thompson's right, which would be the more sensible choice here, considering the overall layout of the map. Instead, he equips them with BARs. And wait a minute, did he just triple equip them with BARs? That's a first. Like, you can equip them with Thompson and a BAR, but you can also, in theory, equip them with triple BARs. But has Findeed stumbled upon some clever idea who's just gone mad? I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to see how it works out, but it's certainly going to pack a punch. The question is, it's going to pack as much a punch as the Thompsons at a much higher cost, because that's 90 munitions. That is about, well, 180 munitions. There's a bit of a difference there. Mortar for Penetron will go bad choice. We got more Rangers for Findeed. He's quickly punching out a lot of Rangers. That is definitely not the usual American play by a long shot. Most American players will at most go for a single Ranger squad, and they certainly will not triple BAR them. But here Findeed is going for double Rangers, and at least one of them is going to get triple BARs. is absolutely bonkers. As for the light Meganos coming not serving any purpose, he's picked up instead, so this just feels a bit vestigial, though of course we could do something with it later on. There you go, Rangers playing behind the gunners again. We're talking triple BARs and a couple of M1 carbines, which for the Rangers are pretty good. And there you go, going to see to retreat. They're going to go up if they'd hope to retreat soon enough. In fact, could even be too late here against the triple BAR wielding Rangers. And that is some serious firepower there for Findeed. Faction there making use of the heavy cover, which Penetron never considered wiring off. Tank types going down the south and before 2 moving in. Support McCall almost done there for Penetron. He could actually push up, but Osprey pretty soon hurt Findeed with that. That wouldn't be a bad choice considering he's back there to decently harass Findeed here, so Osprey a good choice. Also going for BARs on the second Ranger squad, though he's only getting 1 there. But that is a lot of BARs on not so many Rangers. So, yeah, he's going for the Austin, the Flak Panther Fear, here to deal with his armies by blasting them into tiny bits and chunks. Quick nasty mortar hit there. Still no doctrinal choice though from Penetron. That is still very much feel like it's severely missing. Rangers sneaking up, they're going to hit the southern victory point. He's worried about the machine gun be sort of heading about. They're just trying to sort of catch it off guard, but there is none yet, so he can easily avoid that. But still, Findeed's taking no chances since he doesn't know that. So that is definitely the right tactical approach there. Operate as if there's a machine gun waiting and trying to sort of suss it out and then deal with it. There you go, Flak Pants out for Penetron. It's definitely going to be a pretty golden opportunity for it right now since Findeed has got no anti-tank on the field whatsoever. He doesn't even access to the anti-tank rifle grenade because the rifle not veteran enough. So right now the Osprey has, I would say, optimal opportunity. But there you go, MG42 being flanked by the Rangers. He kept searching for it, he kept looking for it, and he wipes it, in fact destroying the machine gun entirely. That is pretty bad luck there for Penetron. But it had suffered some heavy damage with the mortar, he hadn't repaired it. So of course he now knows there's an Osprey. Now he goes to the steward to try and deal with it first. I mean, the steward could sort of delay and stall the Osprey. Upon his retreat, well, they almost got taken up with the mortar. That mortar ball is proving really, really helpful there for Findeed. Ralph's got pushed away. Osprey is just standing right there. He needs to be more aggressive with it. Of course, he shouldn't be too aggressive either. He doesn't know what's about, but certainly he should try and support his infantry actively with it and push back Findeed. Deal as much damage to Findeed. In particular, if he can catch the Rangers with the Osprey, that'd be great. Not entirely sure why he's taking that path there. There's plenty of room to pass. Of course, could be some weird pathing issue thanks to the tank traps. Who knows? Stuart almost down there, going straight for the Rangers. Catching them off guard and repulsing them. They moves, I think, a bit too fast, decreasing the overall damage he can do. But he's actually holding both fuel points. He can actually quickly fill up with some additional armour. Stuart arriving here for Findeed and the 3rd Armour Division, the M5A1. Not to be confused with the M3A1, which was also the Stuart light tank, but which had non-sloped armour and also a different engine, which was less efficient overall. So that rather gave the M5A1 Stuart some advantages there. Another fun fact about the Stuart was it was incredibly cramped inside of the tank. There was barely any space for the crew, which made for a not too fun ride. There we go. Penetron finally going for mortar of his own to counter his opponent's mortar and also brought artillery support. Then he's become for some of his infantry scattered about here. Heading to the south there with the Osprey. The captain there. And he gets run off. Not suffering a lot of damage. The unfortunate there for Penetron. And the North gun is there being pushed back by the Stuart light tank. And we got another pack forward. Oh, well, a pack forward on the way there for Penetron. Probably to help deal with the Stuart and also any other armour that Findeed might be tossing at him. And he's going for Stug as well. Cancels the pack 40 for Stug. I think that's a solid choice there. He doesn't know how Findeed's got fuel sort of set up there as well. So it would certainly help with us in the armour course versus the Stuart as well. Though, of course, from our perspective, if he's just gone for a second Osman and really just begin hurting into these. There we go, wipe a rifle squad. Light machine gun burst there, full up with a few flak hits there. It takes out the unit, killing poor old Bob. Entertaining on the way forward, Findeed realises he really is going to need some serious anti-tank to deal with all of it. Penetron has brought to the field. We got the Osman advancing. Rangers there waiting with their triple BARs. But at the same time, exposed. He really wants that Stewart dead. Gunners, they need to be supported here properly. And there goes starting up, meaning the Osman can't support the Gunners versus the triple BAR Rangers. I really can't get over that. Quick grenade against the Pioneers for the Flamin' Air Front. Needs to reposition. There go, he just retreats. We've got bazooka teams out there for Findeed. So he's not using his reessence. He actually uses riflemen with the bazookas. I think indicating perhaps a bit of pressure there for Findeed and a bit of desperation that he's actually willing to downgrade his riflemen's anti-infantry firepower just to be able to deal with the Osman. We got the Sugar there ready. Pin by machine would be a good choice. And then supporting the Osman, he could probably have a chance of hunting down the Stewart and destroying it. In the south, we got Rangers captain there pushing through, sending a single gunner escort there, scurrying away. Of course, an actual triple BARs and a single Ranger squad would have been, I think, quite impractical simply due to the ammunition expenditure. Usually, any infantry squad would have had a single BAR to support. Like, you know, 3, even 2 of them. Fun fact. Major there getting blasted by the gunner, or mortar team being blasted, not a major so far. Indeed, it's not showing any moves towards medium armour. And he wiped the mortar. He's going to try and steal it here under Findeed's nose. A bold move here. Could cost him a Grenadier squad if he's not careful. And there you go. In this case, didn't work out. The Stewart just killed 2 of the mortar crewmen. Well, no, improvised mortar crewmen. Stu hanging back in the south. Osmond rolling a bit behind as well. Lost the south here to Findeed, who's doing a good job there counter-harassing Penetron. Using Penetron's tactics against him. Very good work there. Other Ranger squad there has not been upgraded with additional BARs or a Thompson, and we got a 3rd Ranger squad out. So we got 3 Ranger squads out from Findeed. That is Findeed highly unusual. I mean, it's certainly on the expense of him, but then, of course, on the other hand, you do get a lot of value. But again, triple BARs. You don't see that very often. I think that's actually the first time I've seen someone with triple BARs on their Rangers, to be honest. And of course, remember, your Osman is a lot more accurate while not moving, but we're talking like a 50% penalty while moving, and that applies to most German vehicles in general, so they are a lot more effective if you're not constantly moving them about. Good strike there from Findeed. Harasses, cuts off it, again hit fuel pump being hit. Penetron is doing a good job there, not getting too caught up in the centre, harassing and hitting there. But at times I do feel it feels like he might, you know, be a bit too passive, a bit too timid, could push harder against Findeed. Rather than negative cover, taking fire from the Grenadiers and the Osman. Bazooka fire there against the Osman. They go rifle retreating. And we got Panzer Grenadier out here for Penetron in the second SS Panzerdivision Das Reich. Up north looks like Grenadier squad finally bit the dust here. Ranger squad now with Thompson, so he's got certainly quite a mix of Rangers and equipment for them. Intriguing. His Stugie's just hanging back. Look at this. I just allowed to do infantry, particularly with the machine gun. I can actually get some kills in here and there, which could certainly add up for Penetron in the longer run. They should though probably go and consider another Osman here. I mean, 2 Osmans right now supported by Stu could really apply some serious pressure there to Findeed's forces, because it seems like Findeed is planning for Pershings. So by going for double Osmans right now, Penetron could severely push this. So of course, this does require that Penetron realises what Findeed is doing. But he is seeing a lot of Rangers. He's not seen any sign of attack. He's not seen the major or anything. So I mean, double Osmans with a Stug, maybe a second Stug later down the road, could really hit Findeed here, because he'd be very vulnerable to double Osmans. In particular, if Penetron could then use some sort of, I think, nice and aggressively. He could in theory also just go for a Panther 4, but as you'll see, Penetron is almost 20 minutes into the match and he has yet to choose a doctrine. That definitely does not feel entirely good. Again, compared to Findeed, who was pretty quick in choosing it, though he's only used it for Rangers so far. Haven't seen any smoke barrages. I'm sure not seen any sandbags or mines. Or fighting positions being laid down by his infantry, so... It's not like Findeed is a perfect little snowflake here either. Certainly a lot more work to be done there, but at least he's actually got a plan there compared to Penetron, who does seem to be waffling about a bit. With 500 manpower and 50 fuel, he needs to be going for a Panzer IV. He could be going for like almost 2 Stugs right now, an Ostwind and a Stug almost. He's got a lot of options, but Penetron is strategically seemingly a bit unclear of what he wants to do, and that's usually sort of a bit of a dangerous phase for any player. Like if they sort of do not have some ideas where they want to go for things next, that could sort of actually, you know, be quite unpleasant if the opponent doesn't just keep thrashing, while the other player then of course in more desperate tries to figure out what he wants to do, but that of course makes it even harder. So we'll have to see what Penetron does, but I definitely think he needs to choose a plan soon. Any moment he's not now choosing some kind of doctrine, setting up for some kind of superior or, you know, overall arcing strategy, it's, you know, gonna cost him. Because Findeed knows what he wants, and in that sense, if you've got Fear Syndrome, if your opponent still doesn't know what he wants to do, though, it's still going to be better than just not having an idea what to do if you don't have Fear Syndrome, which does seem to be what is gripping poor Findeed. Fear Syndrome. Rangers bring about here. Are these playing for tier 4 again? Penetron really does not know what to do, because right now he could go for 2 Stugs. He could go for a Stug and Ostwind. He could go for a Panzer IV, maybe later down a Stug or another Ostwind. But he's just not choosing again. He's just floating. So clearly, I think we're sort of getting the seeing here again. We're just not having a clear strategy from the beginning. You know, can do to you, and again, not just choosing a doctrine from the spot, then integrating to his strategy. He just sort of. He's waffling about. He doesn't know what to do now. He's finally gone for a Panzer IV, but he's still got plenty of manpower he could be spending on other things. Stormtrooper with the assault rifle. Hell, he's got almost 200 munitions, which he could be laying down a lot more mines with. So, it really feels like Penetron is unsure of what he wants to do. And again, it's always why I recommend just having a decent idea right from the beginning, and then sort of at least choosing a doctrine, so at least, you know, depending how things go, choosing another doctrine. Just, you know, have a plan. Because right now I am not getting the impression that Penetron has one. At least if he had one, it's gone. It took a cyanide pill and blew out its brain. So now Penetron has to figure out something else, because that plan is dead. So there you go. Panzer IV out for Penetron. Pioneers being hit right in front of the Rangers and the Stuart. Armour is slinking about in the south here. He's about to lose his Pioneers here because he's not paying attention. It really feels like Penetron is struggling here to figure out what he wants to do. There you go. He was able to save both Pioneer squads, but they took rather heavy losses without achieving anything worthwhile for Penetron here. Still, triple Ranger squads is quite something else. I mean, he's laid down some telemines here and there, obviously. But at the same time, that's about it. I mean, we haven't seen any S-mines, for example. Nothing you could sort of severely slow down Findeed, or make it hard for him to harass Penetron in return. Or machine gun bungers. I mean, he's just got so many resources standing about there. I mean, I suppose he might be playing for the Tiger race, but even then, you know, he could have chosen, you know, Doctor and soon had some stormtroopers out, some assault rifles on them out. That way, being able to pressure. He could have concussor grenades, G43. So there's just so many things here that Penetron is missing out on. There you go, lost the Ostwind as well. As Findeed was able to hunt down there with his anti-tank guns. He's got 2 of them now, which is definitely going to make it really difficult for Penetron to use his armor efficiently, because they can do a lot of damage very fast, since they do have a 50% higher rate of fire than most other anti-tank guns. Meaning they can shoot a lot faster and they can catch you off guard and just wipe. Right, this is going to do escort here to the Rangers. Oh, got lucky there, got really lucky. Troop ceiling reinforcing. Penetron at 900 manpower. Findeed that's 700. He's clearly setting up for the Pershings. And the more percentage to understand, there you go. Penetron finally goes for elite troops. And again, there'll probably be a target at some point. But he's finally beginning to expend resources. He's going for a Panzergrenadier squad, though again, he could easily just have gone for a Stormtrooper squad equipped with assault. He's got plenty of munitions. And the thing is, the Stormtroopers with assault can, in many situations, beat a Panzergrenadier squad thanks to tactical advance. Plus, they're actually slightly harder to kill than a Panzergrenadier squad. They have a slightly better received accuracy bonus, which really means that initially they are a bit tougher. And they can deal up more damage, so I have to be more careful how I use them. So, in that regard, the Stormtrooper squad just has several advantages over the Panzergrenadier squad if used intelligently. Well, again, that's not saying Panzergrenadiers are bad, not far from it, but Stormtroopers are better, at least in my opinion. I generally prefer using them. So there you go, Rangers advancing that straight to the line of fire with the Panther 4. Penetron, though, still seems to be sort of a bit of a daze here. He's increasingly losing ground as he's now splitting up there. He's just scattering himself, as tactically just seems to, well, be as confused as he is strategically increasingly. And there you go, Pershing out, 4th Findeed, and the 3rd Armour Division, losing the southern points here. Panther going for the Steward, and that's a good hit. Come on, Penetron, make up your mind. Make up your mind. Almost got the captain there, but he did escape with a sliver of health. There we go, Penetron finally makes a choice, and it's going to be a second Panther 4 here. That also help as the infantry, and well utilised could also work versus the Pershing, if you can flank it. With another Panther 4 maybe supported by the Stug. Panzer going to be assaulting here the southern munitions point, resistance holding up behind the wreckage of the Ostwind. Range munition support there, bomb grenade in the right place. There you go, lands and the resistance there. Barely get out of there in the nick of time. But we got a grenade offer from the Rangers again, making use of the veterancy and the increased range bulletin to toss it quite a bit of ways. North, we've got the Stewart Pershing sending about there. Panther 4 was down there for Penetron, and there you go, grenade support with the rifle here against the Rangers, and Findeed, oh! Barely makes it by the Samsung explosions. Rangers hits the Panzer going to do his fire there, stay out negative cover. There you go, almost wiping out the Rangers, but the Panzer was not doing too well either. The troops are healing, reinforcing. And there you go, second Panther fight for Penetron and the second SS. No idea what Findeed is planning here with his Pershing or his Stewart. Rangers trying to hit the car point, running into the Panther 4. 3 kills. And there you go, got the Stewart and the Pershing, and over there you go, Pioneers moving into it. What will Penetron do here to dissuade Findeed's armour from living? And right here, troops in reinforcing. Stug Panther Force. Oh, just the Panther Force at least so far on the move here. Going back from territory on the south. Panther Force seems to be setting up for something there, and the Stug is just doing nothing. Rifle Bazooka team there supporting the Pershing, heading towards the centre. This encounters a large clump of all-American infantry there from Findeed, with the Rangers spearheading there again, the triple BARs. The leaders opening up, mortar raining down. Panther Force moving, Stug also still. Oh, Pioneer's about to get wiped. We got the Panther Force moving against the Pershing. Shoots, misses. Second one penetrates the rear armour. Stug doing nothing. Clearly Penetron's got some kind of plan here, but he seems to be trying to execute. He's almost got the command points and the manpower to call in a Tiger Race. I mean, 2 Panther Forces Stug in a Tiger Race could very well steamroll him, but now suddenly has to reinforce a lot of troops, causing a drop. This is clearly not planning for that. In the centre, though, encounter with the Panther Force, lost a mortar. This might have been a misclick or something. Captain grabbing a BAR, the vet free BAR Ranger squad dropped. Or is that the free BAR squad? Looks like that was one, so there's actually... Maybe they've been equipped with Thompsons instead? No. It looks like he also upgraded them with even more BARs. Interesting. Oh, he has got like 2 squads now with triple BARs, possibly. Ah, that Findeed, he's crazy. Up north, there, big push here from the infantry. Panzers going in for the rifle and the anti-tank weapon, going to be supporting. Panzers falling from one side, Stug, I suppose, could support from another side. No, that's just the Stug, actually. The anti-tank, or the Panther Force all down the way in the south here. Almost got the anti-tank there with the Panzer. He's moving ahead here pretty fearlessly. Rifling there, desperately trying to defend themselves. But against the Sturmgewehr 44, the bazooka is just not good enough. Stuke's line moving ahead. Panther Force switching in. Here needs to be careful that doesn't get caught up in front of anti-tank guns. Quick hit there from the M1 on the Panther Force. Second hit there as well. Got the anti-tank and they're still up. You got the Stuke. They're trying to stun. Taking a hit from the Stuke. Pershing hit there. Go actually sending up here for flank by the Panther Force. First shot misses though quite dramatically. There goes. Still creeps ahead. Panther Force second shot bounces. Third shot penetrates. Stuke there about to get knocked out, but the Stuke's not careful. He's trying to manage here. The Panther Force obviously, so the Stuke has more chance there against the Stuke. Pershing there. Doing decent. There you go. Suddenly takes it down to less than half health. There you go. Another penetrating hit from the Panther Force. Both Panther Force have a chance of taking out the Pershing, and there we go. Pershing goes down. A nasty blow there to Findeed. Lost the Pershing, got the Stuke. His opponent now has got two Panther Force almost. One of them is almost veteran 2, the other one is almost veteran 1, so there's a bit more to go there. But still, that is pretty impressive here for Findeed. There goes too much in from the Panther 4. There you go. Veterans 1 gain. Almost got the Stewart, and oh! Can he get it? Can he get it? There we go. Stewart is out of control. And the Panther 4, the dude is now rapidly closing in on veteran 2. Need to pull back Panther Force for repairs. You'd actually consider going for the third one and just hitting Findeed hard. I mean, honestly, they've just been spending resources more aggressive instead of trying this side race. You could have a lot more presence in the field, or you've now been pushing Findeed back a lot sooner. But it just, this sort of strategic pause, if you will, there, which just Penetron just didn't seem to know what to do. Really, it's given Findeed a lot of times just gained most of the map there. Now Penetron's fighting much more desperately. Had he just, pushed ahead there with what he had and just make the best of it. He still has a good chance though, again, taking out the Pershing and the Stewart. He's got two Panther Force again. If he can sort of add up with a third one, he should probably have a really good chance of steamrolling Findeed if he makes good use of them. If. And again, so far Penetron is struggling here. He has very much pinned himself into a bit of a corner. Thanks for basically putting entire strategic sort of play there on hold for some time, as he tried to figure out what the hell he wanted to do. Which is generally not what you want to be figuring out there in almost half, 20 to 30 minutes into a match. That is not when you're supposed to be figuring out sort of a general strategy. Preferably that's something you got a reasonable idea of before the match and then sort of adapt to what this is going on then, sort of maybe some whims, but it just seems like Penetron just didn't know what to do before like almost the 30-minute mark, which is just not good. There you go, one Panther 4 operational, second one almost good to go as well here for Penetron. Panzers there being pushed back. In fact, that the Germans were actually sent out panzers, particularly on the eastern front, that weren't fully repaired, what was called known as degraded modes, and because they didn't have the spare parts or the spare time to actually fix them up fully. So in some cases, they'd be going out there, perhaps with the treads not fully fixed up, or wheels broken, or some other issue. That's a little fun note there as well. More to make sure the victory point is quickly getting behind the victory points compared to Findeed, though he's hitting them all now, more or less. And I think he's still obsessed with the Tiger Ace, when again, if he just were to go for another Panther 1, he had 3 of them, and he could really just swarm, or just break Findeed with them, he just used them correctly. And instead, also no, he's not even using them very aggressively. I mean, he's splitting them up there, but he's not pressuring Findeed hard with his tanks. And they're trying to pick up with the anti-tank guns, are smoking them, and then rushing them with the Panther Force and destroying them, and then following up with the infantry. I mean, there's really a lot of things that Penetron can do, but so far, Penetron just doesn't seem to do them. Main set close being wiped out. So it seems like he's upgraded at least. Oh! Almost wiped the Panthers there with a grenade. Mortar ring down there. Panther 4 very close to Veteran 2. Second Panther 4 deal still holding back. In fact, that one is also very close to Veteran 2. But overall, he's still being reasonably passive with his Panther Force. He's not, seeking out the enemy and destroying them. And there's a feeling here of the passiveness, timidity from Penetron. And there you go. Goes for the ace. But the problem is, if he can't use his Panther Force aggressively, he's not going to be able to use the Tiger Ace aggressively, which is what he really needs to use aggressively. I mean, the Tiger Ace is the ultimate aggressive weapon. That is the all-in move. Like, you go for the Tiger Ace, and then you go in to finish off the bastards. But so far, Penetron... Oh, there you go. Looks like something's finally happening here. Penetron seems to have awoken to his inner German and gone on the offensive here, finally. And there you go, Pershing versus Tiger Ace. Army Schwer, Panzer, Feuer frei. Panzer Force are not supporting the Tiger Ace. That is less good here for Penetron, less good. Come on, he's trying to clear out the remaining anti-tank, which is neat, but you know, he really should be prioritising, you know, supporting his Tiger Ace and delivering as much damage to Findeed as he can, you know, wipe as many units as possible. But now he has to fix up the Tiger Ace as much as possible, as fast as possible, and get it back into the action, because any moment the Tiger Ace is not moving and killing, it is costing you a lot of resources. Which is generally why it's a bad idea to try and play long-term defensive games with the Tiger Ace. It's just not worth it. You really have to just use it as aggressive as possible, do as much damage, and... Alright. And now splitting up his tanks. Again, he's just sending a single Panther for northwards instead of just trying to, you know, apply as much force in one spot as possible. Definitely does not feel efficiently done there by Penetron. But there you go. Tiger Ace, good to go. To deliver more damage to the enemies of Germany. There you go. Panther 4, Vetty 2 shoots up. Second one also, of course, very close. Buying the camp in the center. About 100 victory points left here for Penetron versus 294 from Findeed and the 3rd Armour Division. Tiger Ace keeps delivering death there from afar. Troops are hitting, reinforcing. Skirmishing in the south. I mean, Penetron is more or less at full pop cap. I mean, again, he's got to overrule a larger force with a lot more firepower in many ways, but he's just... You wouldn't think so, the way he's playing it. He's very much still playing very defensively with it. But again, the Tiger Ace does not allow him to do so, which is really, really bad, to be honest, for Penetron. That is a big strategic mistake. But needs to fall back, needs to go ahead for the Ranger Squad, murder them. And of course he needs to work his tanks together. He needs to deliver as much damage to Findeed as humanly possible. So he's rushing in his infantry again without armoured support in the centre. His tanks are just sort of milling about in the south at the same time, costing at least one pioneer squad, which means it's going to be harder for him to repair his tanks when they do need repairs. I mean, it seems like Penetron is just dithering about here at the moment. It just seems like, again, the lack of an early strategy is really beginning to show here for Penetron. Like, it's just all falling apart because he just doesn't know what to do. So again, you know, have a general strategy from the beginning of the match. I mean, you can always, of course, do further solidify it, you come up with some changes to it, but as a rule of thumb, have some kind of idea of what you want to do. And of course, use your tanks more aggressively, particularly get for Tiger Ace. You damn well better be using it aggressively in the first place. And then you have its spearhead. I mean, it can soak up more damage than enemy of Panzer Force. So in this situation, it just doesn't make sense here that, you know, instead of just having its spearhead, it says this is Panzer Force first. Even with armored skirts, so the Tiger Ace just can soak up more damage better. You should also like to shoot your infantry and setting up to try and destroy some supporting weapons rather than the infantry, which is also firing bazookas at the tanks. North got grenade. Kennedy's wiped. Another loss there for Penetron. Again, it's not one he can afford to replace. Though Findeed has suffered heavy losses as well here. His forces are still smaller here than Penetron's. But of course, Penetron's got a problem because he's now lost both Pioneer Squads, meaning he's got a large armoured force, which he's going to struggle to repair because he can't even go for one Pioneer Squad now. He has to wait and then go for another one afterwards, which is going to take him at least several minutes compared to others. So, I mean, Penetron, he's really just making a lot of mistakes, which again just feels like add-ons to the fact he just did not know what to do all of a sudden throughout the mid-game. Then suddenly bolted out some kind of strategy, but again, it's clearly just not part of what he wants to do. It's just sort of, it's there, but he doesn't know how to use it properly, which again explains why he's then using the Tiger Ace in the manner he's doing it, because if it was actually part of the initial strategy, he'd be playing it a lot more aggressively. So, you know, again, really, if you really want a good tip as well, just choose the strategy. You don't have to necessarily choose a doctrine, but generally have a strategy right from the get-go. Most of the time that involves having the doctrine chosen right away, because then you sort of already got something to work your strategy with. So, yeah. Bit of advice there. A pro tip, if you will. Punch with assault rifles BS clearing out the Rangers here. Good work. And again, it's going to take him forever to repair all these things. Forever. Which is going to give Findeed more time to grab the rest of the map. And then, of course, grab the victory points. Sending in the Tigris, they're not fully repaired. Need to prioritise the Panther Force, I guess. Of course, he needs to be intelligent about using his Tigris there. Rifleman laying down mines, so he's beginning to make use of the doctrine more, which is good. Ooh, mine, they almost took out the rifleman as it came in a fire from the Tigris. 15 kills. Penetron, they will need more pioneers. Hitting victory points to the north, hitting victory points to the centre. 50 points left here for Penetron and the second SS. Moving up for the soft gun is in the way. Bet 23. With the light machine and the flamethrower there, we got a grenade off on the mortar team. I think that's a good priority there. Much easier for him to kill because it has a harder time getting away there if it's thrown fast enough. So nice work there by Findeed. Very nasty, of course, for Penetron. And losing his Panzer squad there more or less by the looks of it. Unless he gets really lucky. But he dropped the BAR here for Findeed to grab back up. Tigris rolling about here, not dealing with the infantry very well. And not allowed to shoot the infantry either. There you go. Got one Panther Force ready. Needs to get the one fixed up at least to a decent degree so he can support the Panther Force. He needs to go on the offensive though. Again, he needs to stop playing defensive because he's not in a state where he can afford. He needs to push ahead. Needs to deliver damage to Findeed. In particular, he still has a population advantage, which means he still has a larger force. But the way Penetron is playing it, he's very much just allowing Findeed to just choose the fights, which is definitely not what Penetron should want to happen here. He should be the one picking the fights. Alright, second Panther, I suppose, is good to go to get. Pulling back his aids for repairs. Pershing going out. With an anti-tank gun in tow, exposing the rear of the armour. Not the boost move there by Penetron. Good use of the HP around there by Findeed, though. Good use. Panzers they're advancing straight into the Rangers there again. Triple BARs. Panzers there with one BAR. That abandoned grenade. Panther Force support again. Note he's not sending up both Panther Forces again. He's splitting them up consistently. And he's not trying to gain any strength in numbers. Just sort of armor strength there. Unit right there, leaving Penetron with a few infantry units, and there you go, Penetron surrenders, perhaps realising he squandered all chances of victory. So there you go, GG, game over. Penetron initially, while acquitting himself well, the problem was again, as he hit the mid-game, Penetron clearly had no clue what to do. He just sort of coupled it together, and then overall put together a really terrible strategy. I mean, again, initially while he was using his arm together, as it went on, he just stopped using his arm as a cohesive part of the force, which is just here and there. Not working together for a bigger unity, was also getting increasingly passive, increasingly defensive, and then he went for the Tigris, which just really nailed it because that really did not at all work with the strategy. That's, you know, the sort of stuff where you go all in, you hit hard, do as much damage as possible, make it hard for your opponent to recover, but instead Penetron did the exact opposite, giving Findeed plenty of time to just push out and secure the territory at his pace while still having a victory point advantage. So, I mean, again, choose a strategy as soon as possible, at least have a rough idea at the start of the game. Don't choose what you want to do halfway through the match. Use your armor as cohesively as possible, if possible, and in this case it was plenty possible. Try to be aggressive as much as possible, and of course, don't go for Tigris and play it defensively, you putz. Use it aggressively. It's a Tiger race. use it like that. And also just use your doctrine better. I mean, Penetron just went for doctrine for an ace. Could have had storm. So hell, he flooded a lot of munitions. You could have done a ton more mines. There's really a lot of things Penetron could have done so much infinitely better. And again, he just had a strategy. He could have just, pushed for a lot of Panzer Force earlier and crushed Findeed, who of course made the big mistake of just playing for Pershings. But because of the way Penetron played, which as the game went on was increasingly just lackadaisical, it allowed Findeed to get away with ours, pretty weak strategic move. But a weak strategic move is still better than absolutely no strategy at all, and that's very important. A weak strategy is still better than none at all. Though I would say his ranges there was quite interesting there, and again the triple BR ranges turned out to be quite nasty. So that was obviously a neat tactical move there by Findeed. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, tell a friend, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay and provide some feedback in the comment section. And if you'd like what to do, donate or pledge on Patreon. Links in the video description. This is Imperial Linking. Cheers. A big thanks to all my Patreon supporters, and see you all tomorrow for another sunny episode. Bye.